All right, here we go. I don't know how well we're going to be able to go through here because it is grown in. Again, the siding is beside us. It's on the south side. So this is a very, very narrow little ATV trail. I guess people just use the Graham Road instead, coming down here. So it is become quite grown in. You can see the siding right here beside us. Whew. So this is where the turning Y would have come out. Up here, there's a bit of a pit. (107). Whew. Yeah, so this is where the Y would have come out. Would have come in through there, hooked back into the grade. You can see some vestiges here. I don't know if they dug. This was the railway that did this. You can see some ties there. You can see it's a lot more open here. So we're going to go to where the next road access is, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little walking tour. There's some things to see in the brush. We did that this morning. You can see one of the points of interest here. You can see there's a concrete pad from one of the buildings that was here. Maybe a section house. You can see some wood here. You'll see that on the walking tour. All right, so this road originally wasn't here. The road used to come in where we're going to end the hike, used to come in and kind of loop around, and used to come out there and then curve in behind here. So we're going to pause. I'm going to come back after with the notes, and we're going to talk about the station and the area here around Graham. Okay, so let's give you a little tour of the area here. Lots of things happening here at Knowlton / Graham. We'll talk a little bit more about things when we get to the station. So we have, first of all, here we have this this concrete pad. I'm guessing the foundation of some sort of structure here. You can see how grown in the right-of-way is here. And then there's some wood here. There's some chunks of concrete over here. The bugs are actually bad. They're like flying in my ears and stuff. It's ridiculous. Okay, let's hop off the grade here. Up into here, so these jack pines that are growing up. So you can imagine just tons of activity going on. at this station over the years. We got another feature over here. So here we have the well. The flag tape is new. I just put that in there, just so in case anybody's walking by, they don't happen to fall into this. When I was here last week, there was a poor unfortunate chipmunk that fell into here, and these two sticks that are in there, I put those in there, and the chipmunk was able to extricate itself using those, because I kind of put them in there and then I walked away and then I came back and the chipmunk was gone. So did my little humanitarian thing for the day there last week. So got other stuff kicking around here. You can see that there's a big piece of metal here. There's something else around here. You can see the pole. There's another thing kicking around here somewhere. Problem is, you get so many things in a tiny little area. It's hard to remember exactly where everything is. There's a piece of concrete here. Looks like a round, looks like a piece of a, sorry, bug. Piece of a segmented concrete culvert. That's some sort of buried cable, telephone cable. There's another one there. One of those posts there. You can see another pole. We're gonna go back onto the grade here. We're gonna leave that spot for now. There was something else that I missed in there, but again, it's hard to see everything. All kinds of debris on this side. That's what I wanted to show you. There was something over here. So again, right away here, siding just off to my right here on the south side. So, not sure what the hell this thing is. Some sort of heater of some sort. You can definitely see that's to fill it up. All right, so let's jump our way over to where the station was. All right, so we're in here. We're just adjacent to the road. This is, from what I understand, the location of where the station was here at Graham. We will show you the maps and everything like that, so you'll be able to see everything. So let's talk a little bit about Graham. So Graham was located at milepost 99.6 originally, and then eventually milepost 70.8. So again, Grand Trunk Pacific used that alphabetical lettering system, and so this would have been the end station. Now, the original name, as I mentioned, for Graham was Knowlton, Knowlton. Now, you're probably thinking, well, doesn't it start with a K? Well, the second letter, N, was the fill-in for that. So the station was actually named after George Knowlton, who was the chief engineer for the construction of this particular line. So again, Knowlton, the N standing in for the N station. We have Mac to the south, or to the east, and then Oscar to the west. What else we got here? Sorry, just making sure I go through my notes. Okay, so the station that was located here was a Grand Trunk Type E station, which was constructed in 1910 or 1911. My information says 1911. Now, before we get any farther, so there was a name change. Don't know precisely when it happened, but it was some point in 1918. And I'll show you this on all the timetables and everything. So in early 1918, it was Knowlton. And then sometime later in 1918, it became Graham. Why the change was made, we're not quite sure. So what happened is that the station at Sioux Lookout, so Graham was renamed Sioux Lookout, and then the name was cascaded down to here, and so Knowlton became Graham. So again, station was built here in 1911, most likely. By the 1920s, this place started getting very busy. Originally, Oscar, the next station down the line, was kind of the busy station, but when CN took over, it's super windy now, they started shifting everything over here to Graham. So in 1923, the coal and water facilities were shifted here, and then the line was also renamed after the station. In 1924, the Y was added, and because most likely the Y because this was a divisional point. So from 1925 to 1931, this was a divisional point between the Raith and the Corn subdivisions, okay, which were remerged in 1931. The coal bunker was removed from here in 1933, and the water tank, which is over there, which we're going to show you, stuck around until 1946. The station apparently was renovated, around this tank stuck around till 1975. Still shows up on timetables till 1975, I'm not sure why. The station building, which was renovated in 1946, was most likely removed after 1985. Some people said it was still around here early 90s. So 1985 was when passenger service on this line ended, so November 1985. So apparently the station was still here in the early 1990s, but eventually was removed. Okay. Graham remained a station on the line with its siding and its Y until the line was abandoned in 1994. Okay. Now, there was also a post office here at Graham. The post office was established in 1924. The first postmaster or postmistress was Josie Swaim. And then there was a series of people. The last record that they have at Library and Archives Canada was an Ian McLeod. And that appointment happened in 1980. In terms of population, in 1911, there were 7 people here at Knowlton. And then in 1921, there were 8 people at Graham. And then in 1931, the population had exploded to 91 people. So quite a large, bump up of people during that particular time. Now, before we wrap up and get back out onto the grade, I do want to mention, say thank you for all the people who provided information about this location. Sherry, Randy, anybody else that provided information. It's still a work in progress. I'm sure there's probably tons of stuff around here that I still haven't probably taken in. Again, it's very difficult when, you know, everything's overgrown and the records that you have are very, very scant and minimal. Make sure you do go to my page on Knowlton/Graham. There's a link in the description and you'll be able to find lots of information, including some photographs. So there is one, it's not very good quality one, but there's one going back to the pre-1918 days where you see the station and you can see Knowlton on the side of the station, and then you can see some other ones with the station building and the water tank. You'll see a locomotive here. So again, some really good information here about this location.